The night that turned my world upside down. The city of Boston, Massachusetts was alive with its usual rhythm: bustling subways, glowing street lamps, and cobblestone streets soaked from an evening drizzle. On the surface, everything seemed ordinary, but for Olivia Carter, that night was anything but ordinary. At 24, Olivia's life felt like a carefully stacked tower of books, steady, neat, and predictable. She worked as an assistant editor for a small publishing house near Beacon Hill. Her days were spent correcting manuscripts, sipping too much coffee, and walking home with her headphones in to drown out the city noise. She wasn't unhappy, but she wasn't truly alive either. She had always avoided risks. Love, to her, was like a story she proofread, beautiful in theory, but too messy in reality. That night, though, everything she thought she knew would change. The unexpected meeting. Olivia was running late, clutching an umbrella that had flipped uselessly in the wind. She hurried down Tremont Street, rain plastering her hair to her cheeks, when a sudden flash of headlights made her freeze. A car swerved too close to the sidewalk, splashing a wave of cold water across her coat. "Perfect," she muttered, shivering. That's when a voice spoke behind her. "Rough night?" Turning, she saw a man about her age, holding out his umbrella. His name was Jacob Matthews, 26, a paramedic finishing a long shift. He had kind eyes, tired but warm, and a smile that felt like a safe harbor in the storm. "You look like you could use this more than me," Jacob said, tilting the umbrella toward her. Olivia hesitated. New Englanders weren't known for chatting with strangers on rainy nights, but something about him disarmed her. She accepted with a small nod. "Thanks, tonight seems determined to ruin me." "Or maybe," Jacob said, walking beside her, "tonight is trying to rewrite your story." She raised an eyebrow but didn't argue. She wasn't sure why, but she kept walking with him, their footsteps echoing against the wet pavement. Coffee and conversations. Instead of going straight home, Olivia surprised herself by agreeing when Jacob suggested stopping at a small cafe still open near the common. The place smelled of cinnamon and espresso, its windows fogged from the warmth inside. Over steaming mugs, Jacob told her about his job: long hours, tough calls, the weight of responsibility that sometimes kept him awake at night. Olivia, in turn, admitted she often felt invisible, hidden behind red pens and manuscripts that would never carry her name. "You fix other people's words," Jacob said thoughtfully. "But what about your own?" The question lingered in her chest long after she left the cafe. Days that followed. In the days after that night, Olivia found herself thinking about Jacob, and as if fate had conspired, they kept crossing paths. She spotted him at the public library once, reading a medical memoir. Another time, they bumped into each other at Quincy Market, both reaching for the last blueberry muffin. Soon, coincidences turned into plans. They explored Boston's old bookstores, walked along the Charles River, and sat on park benches sharing stories. Olivia discovered that Jacob had a habit of carrying a notebook where he jotted down small details about people he met. "Because every life has a story worth remembering," he said. For Olivia, who had spent so long believing her story wasn't worth telling, his words felt like sunlight breaking through clouds. A rift. But just when Olivia started to believe in the possibility of something more, reality intruded. One evening, Jacob showed up to their usual spot at the cafe with a heavy expression. "I might have to move," he confessed. "There's an opening at a trauma center in Chicago. It's a huge step for my career, but it means leaving Boston." Olivia's heart dropped. She tried to be supportive, forcing a smile. "That sounds amazing, Jacob. You should do it." But when he looked at her, she couldn't hide the flicker of sadness in her eyes. "Would you miss me?" he asked quietly. Olivia froze. For so long, she had hidden her feelings, afraid of vulnerability. And now, when it mattered most, she couldn't bring herself to answer. Instead, she whispered, "You should do what's best for you." Jacob nodded, but his disappointment was clear. The night of Truth Weeks passed. Olivia threw herself into work, pretending she was fine, but every quiet moment brought back memories of Jacob, his laughter, his kindness, the way he saw her as more than invisible. On the eve of his departure, Olivia wandered into the rain-soaked streets again, her heart restless. Without thinking, she found herself outside the cafe where they had first truly talked. And there he was, Jacob sitting by the window, staring out as if waiting for something, or someone. Gathering courage, Olivia stepped inside. Her voice trembled as she said, "Jacob, I can't let you leave without saying this. That night when we met, I didn't